welcome back. We are still on the sample gradebook. This time we've gone over to lesson 11, mail merging. And for those who don't already know, mail merging is where you take all of your data in Excel and you merge it into a Word document. And when you print them out, they look like standalone customized letters, but it takes a fraction of the time to get it done. So what we're going to do here is we have this data table. And you can see that it looks just like all the other data tables we have here. We've got the student's last name, first name, address, state, zip, their email address, and then grading. And then we have not only the letter grade, but we have the numeric grade as well. Then we have two other fields. One is called relationship and the other is called career. And in relationship, what we're going to do is we're going to merge the relationship between the student and the person who's receiving the letter. So it could be an aunt, an uncle, a brother, a sister, a guardian, any of those things. We're also going to include career. So if a student's doing really well in class, we might want to recommend that that student pursue a career in automotive engineering or law or politics or space exploration, any of those things. One thing I have done, this neat little trick, is over on Gradebook. I have reference my bio gradebook. This is the second lesson we had. And the nice thing is, if I go all the way back to the very beginning and I click on bio gradebook, right down here, you see where we have the numeric score and the letter grade. If any of this data changes, it will also reflect over into our lesson 11 and show the correct grade. So in this case, Allred has an A and Katie has an F. And if you look over here on GPA, I did the same thing, except it's looking at the same gradebook, but a different range of cells. And when we mail merge, the nice thing about this is when you open up your data set, it's going to look back at the home spreadsheet, for lack of a better word, where your data resides, and it will see if there's any changes. And if there are changes, it'll automatically update itself. For instance, if a student drops the class, but another student adds the class, that information will be reflective. So the first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to go over to Excel, and I'm going to open up a lesson data workbook right here. And I'm going to resize that a little bit, make it a little easier to see. And you saw that there was a little bit of a lag when it opened up. That's because it went back and it looked at, right over on my grading, it looked at the sample grade book, which is the one that we are using right back here. It looked at the sample grade book, and it looked at the bio grade book inside of that, and then it looked at cell D3 and it updated itself. So there's a little bit of a lag on that. So what we're going to do is merge all of this data into our Word document. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go on over and I'm going to open up my Word document, and I'm opening up unmerged letter. And another little reminder, all of the sample files I'm using here are also available in the course, so you can play around with it and then customize it as you see fit. So I have this letter here, and it says first name, last name, address, city, state, zip, dear relationship of first name, last name. And I put these in blue so they'll stand out. Now, obviously, if you're doing a mail merge on school letterhead, you wouldn't make them blue and green and yellow. You might make certain words bold to add emphasis. But for the most part, the blue here is just to make it stand out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I need to merge this Word document with my Excel document. So I'm going to come down here to Mail Merge Manager. And I'm going to go up here and it says Create New Form Letter. Okay, and you can see it looked at the one I had open and it automatically added that title there. The next thing I have to do is I have to tell Microsoft Word, where is the data? Where is the beef? So I'll go over here to Open Data Source. And in my Lesson 11 folder, I have a spreadsheet called Lesson 11 Data. I'm going to open it up. You get this warning message, just kind of a commentary on our times. It's just telling you, make sure that the data you're open is, clean and doesn't have a virus and all that good stuff. So we'll click OK. And it's going to think about it for a second down here. And it comes up with the open workbook, and we're just going to leave this as is. And you'll see that it automatically populates all the fields that were in my Excel table. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all this stuff here. And I want to create and put in these fields. So that basically these are kind of like database fields. So I'm going to click on first name and drag it over. And then I hit the space bar. I'll do last name. Hit the return key. And I'm going to insert address. And then city. Space bar state. 2 spaces. And then the zip code. Then I want to include the student's email address. Probably wouldn't go in a real letter, but I just want to show you how this works. And I'm going to drag over email address and get a little extra space here. And now I'm going to make these all blue and bold just so that we can see them on the screen. Now I'm going to come over here where it says relationship, and I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to scroll all the way down and drag over relationship, dear relationship of, and since I'm using the student's first name and last name, I can simply copy this and paste it in. It saves me a little step here, a little more time. And it says, as you know, we are fast approaching midterms, and I would like to take a moment to share, and the student first name, last name again, so we'll remove these out and paste that in there. Progress with you. And then it comes down here, and then we have first name. So I can simply go over and highlight first name. And now I'm going to look around and see how many times first name shows up. There's first name down here. And it's just sometimes easier to copy and paste in the field than it is actually, type it in or drag it across. And let's see, I need to come over here, receive the letter grade of. And so I'm going to grab grade and drop it in there. And then I'm going to get rid of that unnecessary text there. And then GPA. So I'll come down here to GPA and drag it in there and get rid of this. And I'm going to come over and just click on any of the blue text. I'm going to double click here on my format comp here. And then I can come around here and just highlight that. And I can come back over here and I can highlight grade. And then I can turn that on, saving some steps as I go along. Now it says, having worked with first name, blah, 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 woof, woof, woof. And it says, it says career. So I'm going to come down here and grab career. And I'll take out the blue field that I don't need anymore. And I'll do the same thing here. I'll just come over here and get my format highlighter and drop that in there. So there's our text, or our letter, I should say. Now, I forgot to do relationship there. There we go. And I'll highlight that. So that's why it's always good to kind of proofread your way through. Now, over on here, we have some tools under preview results. This little control here will allow you to go from record to record, next record, previous record. This little tag over here toggles between the codes you see on the screen right now and the actual text itself. So if I click on this, you'll see everything changes over. And I didn't quite get that there, so let me make that bold, and there we go. And it reads Kevin Allred, has a street name, Long Beach, California, his email address, Dear Aunt of Kevin Allred, and you can see it says Kevin Allred's progress. Kevin got an A in the class, which is equivalent to a 90%. Having worked with Kevin, I can say without a doubt that he should probably pursue a career in automotive engineering is not out of the range of possibilities. Now what I can do is I can simply click on the next record, and you'll see that these change all over. And when I print this out, if I were to print this out and I didn't have the blue text, there isn't any way for the recipient to tell whether this was a custom type from scratch letter or mail merge. And as I said before, it doesn't matter how many students you have, how many individual records you have as far as what they're doing in the class, and you can just mail merge these out, print them, and then mail them to a student, or you can actually save them as a PDF and attach them to a file. So that's one of the things that you can do on that. And so we have all of our records all the way down here. and then we get to number 7. And of course, if you wanted to print it, you would say merge to printer, and it would take off from there. So that is mail merging. For the most part, let me close that down so we can see it. Mail merging is taking all of this data, like the last guy we looked at was Paul Simon, he got a D-, is merging it so that you see that Paul Simon here did indeed get a D, because he got a 60% of the class. And so those are some of the tools you can use. So have fun with this, kick it around a little bit, and we'll see you on the next lesson in Excel.